In a coastal town on the east side there resided three friends named Jack, Tom, and Lily who loved to go fishing together and making an extra buck from it. They would often spend their weekends at the nearby lake, casting their lines and enjoying each other's company. One day, they decided to venture out into the open sea for a big catch. The day was going well though most of the catch were on the smaller side. Jack recalled learning about this new spot the last time he went out to the docks. There were two older fishermen talking about a secret spot where the catch was like no other. Upon hearing about the spot the friends became excited and couldn't wait to go. Jack steered the boat to a more remote area of the sea to where the fish were said to be bigger and more plentiful. As they set up their gear and began to fish, they noticed that the water was unusually calm and quiet. Lily joked that the fish in that area were having a siesta and Tom added they must be the size of a duffel bag and were sluggish as they moved. As the three friends laughed and casted their lines, the prospect of a great catch made them think of the price the fish would fetch. Jack grinned and said, "I bet we could hold an auction once we bring back today's catch. Restaurants will be lining up for these babies." Suddenly, a fog started to roll in. They decided to reel in their lines and head back. Lily said she would pack away the gear and so she went below deck to do just that. Tom rushed to the stern to grab the wheel and Jack would secure the fish. Within minutes the fog was so thick, obscuring their vision and making it difficult to see anything in front of them. Lily poked out her head from the hatch and realized she couldn't see anything so she went back down. Suddenly there was a loud crash and a thud. It seems the boat either ran aground or the rudder got caught on something, Tom thought to himself. With how thick and opaque the fog was, Tom could not see where he was going. Even though the boat was equipped with fog lights, Tom decided to not try to move the boat and just allowed the boat to float with the tide. It seemed like the fog that came out of nowhere also caused the friends to separate. Tom tried to call out for Jack and Lily to no avail. Tom wondered if he had damaged the boat, and to what extent. Would it sink, and what of Lily? She was trapped in the hull. There was another jolt and as the boat rocked it seemed to have been dislodged from where it stood. Feeling around, Tom reached the radio and tried to call for help. The line had pure static and no reply came over the air. He then tried to listen for other nearby boats and his friends, but it was dead silent. Tom told himself the only thing to do was stay put and wait. At this point he couldn't tell where anything on the boat was. Hours passed with no change. Every 30 minutes or so Tom had tried the radio but still no response, only static. The day started to change. The white fog was now pitch black darkness and no end to their situation. Tom sat down on the floor on the boat below the captain's chair as he dozed off. The next thing he knew he was jolted awake by the boat trashing around in the waves. It was getting worse. Panic was setting in and Tom started to worry if they would make it through the night. All night Tom was in and out of sleep. One moment his eyes would close, then he would be rustled awake by the rocking of the vessel. The next day when the fog started to lift, Tom tried again to reach help on the radio and called out for his friends. There was still no reply. Finally, it cleared enough for Tom to see the boat and to move around. As he walked, he called out for his friends. He got to the hatch and went down below deck. There he located Lily sitting on the bed crying. She explained that several times she tried to come up on deck but wasn't able to come out due to no visibility, and when she called out she got no response, so she felt like she was all alone. Tom comforted her and suggested they go get Jack and figure out what they should do next. Tom and Lily searched frantically for Jack, but there was no trace of him. They called out his name, but there was no response. Lily noticed that one of the lifeboats was missing, but it didn't make sense that Jack would have gotten off the boat and leave in the dense fog and with no supplies. Still, Jack was nowhere to be found. Looking around, they didn't have a clue as to where they were either. There was only the wide open ocean as far as the eye could see. The boat's navigation system seemed to have been damaged somehow, and upon closer inspection the rudder was damaged too. With Jack being the better captain, their limited knowledge was exhausted. They continued to try the radio system and not even static was transmitting. As the days passed they ate the fish that was stored on the boat. That soon began to rot, however, and there was no more food left. They tried fishing again, but it seemed an impossible task. nothing was biting. They encountered a small passing storm and was able to get some fresh water, but as their stomachs started to growl, Tom suggested they drew straws. Initially Lily was against this suggestion, however after another day had passed they both knew it needed to be done. The two friends hugged and cried. Lily grabbed her straw hat from the hull and picked 2 pieces of straw from it, making sure they were of different lengths. Holding out her arm to Tom, he grabbed one. When they both opened their palm they both sighed as they now knew what came next. Eventually, Lily was found afloat at sea in a lifeboat, delusional and dehydrated. She returned home, heartbroken and confused about what had happened. The mystery of Jack's disappearance still remains unsolved, and that fishing trip haunted her for years and she never went fishing again.